So the yesterday we have seen in applied biology, the biotechnological applications in the field of medicine, that is genetically engineered insulin. So today we'll see some of the other aspects in the biological applications in the medicine, that is monoclonal antibodies. So in generally our body produces antibodies against the antigen. But in normal phenomena, so whenever there is an antigen or pathogen enters in our body, it takes certain time to produce antibodies. For example, any person is bitten by the snake bite, the poison enters to the vascular system, and this poison may be neurotoxic or hemolytic. It may damage to the central nervous system or it ruptures the cells, blood cells. So for producing the antibody it takes certain time. So we don't want to wait for the time to produce antibodies, because these poison, it makes multiple damages in the tissues and the organs by the time it produces the antibodies. So for that we need a ready-made antibodies to produce, ready-made antibodies to serve. Okay. So antivenom, what we give is the form of monoclonal antibodies. So there are many monoclonal antibodies are available. So in the operation theater, no, we don't want to wait for the antibodies to produce. Many times in the transplantation process, we don't want to wait for the antibodies to produce, and we supplement the antibodies as in the form of monoclonal antibodies. Okay, so what they have done in the snakes, so in the particularly in the snakes venom. Okay, the scientists, what they induce these snake venom to the horses and other animals, and they waited for antibodies to produce, and these antibodies were collected in the form of serum, and this serum we use as an anti-venom injection. So this anti-venom injection has an antibodies, that is monoclonal antibodies, and these antibodies are working against the antigens, which is a venom of the snake. Okay, so scientists, what they have done in the initial, when they found the monoclonal antibodies, they have taken a cells of myeloma cells. Okay, so myeloma cells. So myeloma cells are the tumor cells, cancer cells of the bone marrow cancer cells. Bone marrow tumor cells are cancer cells. So these cells are very unique because these myeloma cells can multiply unconditionally. Okay, that is what we call it as cancerous cells. And also these myeloma cells can also grow outside the body. Okay, the number one, uncontrolled division, and can also grow outside the body. These is the two important properties of the myeloma cells. In vitro culture, when we want to study certain carcinogenic studies, we take myeloma cells, and these cells are studied under the in vitro studies. In the glass, in the laboratory, we take these cells to study how this multiplication are happening, how this cell division was happening in a what rate, what proportion it is happening, and what is the speed of division it is happening. We take these cells as a control cells, and these myeloma cells or infused with lymphocytes. Okay. Now, what happened when we infused with these lymphocytes and it triggers an antigen. The lymphocytes triggers an antigen, forms the hybridoma, and this hybridoma cells of myeloma cells have an antibodies. So, as we know, this myeloma cells can divide mitotically and forms identical cells of hybridoma cells. Cells. So we call it as these are clones. Yes, clones. These are called as clones because only certain antibodies will produce. No, so whenever we take monoclonal antibodies, we don't want to have a multiple antibodies in our this monoclonal antibodies because some of the antigens may trigger causes other side effects. So that is the reason we call it as monoclones. So antibodies, we call it as monoclonal antibodies. Okay. The technology of this we call it as hybridoma technology. So scientists what they have taken myeloma cells because they have two unique characters. They can undergo uncontrolled cell division and they can also grow the outside the body. When they fused with lymphocytes, so they trigger an antigen. This antigen stimulates the antibody production of the myeloma cell, and when these myeloma cells are having an antibodies against the antigen of the lymphocyte, we call it as hybridoma. And this hybridoma can undergo mitotic division and produce similar kind of the cells. We call it as a clones, and these clones are monoclones. What we call is monoclonal antibodies. Antibodies, what they have hybridoma contains, we call it as monoclonal antibodies. So this is the technology which we are using for many medical purposes, and it is very important also because in certain reactions, most of the allergic reactions, most of the transplantation process, even the snake bite, when people are taking the poison, we go for the hybridoma technology. So that is monoclonal antibodies. Now, even in a COVID situation, before we got the treatment medication, we used to follow the plasma therapy, and these plasma cells have an antibodies, ready-made antibodies. So those antibodies which is produced by already recovered patients, so who got positive to negative, they produce an antibodies. These antibodies are accumulated in the plasma of the recovered patient. In the plasma therapy, so these antibodies were infused to the patients who is suffering with the COVID. That is also a form of monoclonal antibodies. Okay. Now let us see gene therapy. See, if any gene in our body has a defective, so removal of that particular gene or correcting a gene or addition of the gene, we call it as gene therapy. Okay. So any defective gene correcting or repair, correcting or removal or adding, we call it as gene therapy, because there are certain diseases which cause the genetically diseases. Okay, the first gene therapy was done in the year of 1990 in a 4-year girl child. Okay, the gene ADA gene, which is responsible for adenosine diaminose. So gene ADA is responsible for the adenosine diaminose enzyme, and this enzyme is important to convert bone marrow cells bone marrow cells to synthesize lymphocytes. So what kind of lymphocytes? That is B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. Okay. For the synthesis of the B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes from the bone marrow cells, this adenosine diaminose enzyme is required. And this adenosine diaminase enzyme is expressed by the ADA gene. Okay, this ADA gene in the DNA goes to the transcription and translation and produces an enzyme called adenosine diaminose, and this diaminose is required for the synthesis of the B and T lymphocytes from the bone marrow cells, and these B and T lymphocytes are useful in the immunity, cell-mediated immunity and humoral immunity. So, when there is a defect in this gene, there are certain people who are defective of this particular ADA gene. There is no synthesis of the adenosine diaminose enzyme, and there is no the synthesis of the lymphocytes from the bone marrow, and those people shows a disease called SCID, means severe combined combined immunodeficiency. So this is called the, if there is a defect of the ADA gene causes SCID. Now the scientists, what they have done, they isolated the ADA gene from the normal people and they inserted into the lymphocytes through retrovirus. Now retrovirus are useful as a vector. So through the retrovirus, this ADA gene is introduced into the lymphocytes, and now these lymphocytes are start producing ADA enzyme. So when these lymphocytes or the ADA gene introduced lymphocytes, when infused into the patients of this 4 years girl child, they temporarily start producing the ADA enzyme. Now there is a possibility of the synthesis of the B and T lymphocytes, then the entire immune system is corrected. However, this type of treatment is a temporary treatment because so it has to give a regular basis. Okay, but when there is a zygotic phase, zygotic or two cell phase, if we find these type of errors or the deficiencies, then we can treat permanently with gene therapy. So the very initial stage, zygotic formation and two cell formation, we need to understand the picture of karyogram. Then we can correct with the gene therapy, because most of the people who go the gene therapy, because already they would have existed with their ancestors, maybe first birth, maybe having a defect. If there is a possibility having a defects in the next children, they go for the karyogram. If there is also any defective kind of this thing, they will go for the gene therapy. Okay, this is all about the gene therapy. Now there is, with this rDNA technology, there are other treatments also available in the medicine. As we know, the growth hormone is very important for the growth. If there is a deficiency of this hormone, leads to the dwarfism. With this rDNA technology, we can also induce the growth hormone in those patients. Now, tissue plasminogen activator, we call it as TPA. So this is also produced by the hybridoma technology or rDNA technology, and this is very important for the clot busters. Whenever the people got paralyzed, no, there is a clottage in the brain. So sometimes there is a clottage in the heart, and this TPA, no, it acts like a clot busters. And these clot busters or the TPAs are synthesized by the rDNA technology. Now, somatostatins and the streptokinase. So these are very important when the organ transplantation is happening. So when we transplantation of the cornea or transplantation of the liver, transplantation of kidney happens, no, these are the outside organisms. No, our body will not accept immediately. So in that case, no, for the acceptance, we use these somatostatins and streptokinase, and these are also synthesized by the rDNA technology. And edible vaccines. Now, edible vaccines or the vaccines which are taken by the orally. So most of these oral vaccines, no, the bioavailability is very minimal because most of the content of the drug will be digested by the our digestive tract. So scientists, what they will do, these DNA, they introduces into the banana or tomato. So once we take the banana and tomato, and this DNA goes into our body, and the whole process will activate. So those we call as edible vaccines. Okay, so these are the other rDNA technologies which are used in the medicine. Now, tomorrow we'll see molecular diagnosis. Okay.